Welcome! I am so excited to bring you along as I decorate our house for Christmas this year. I already have my Christmas pajamas on as I'm editing this video right now, and I'm really excited. I have some fun stuff to share with you, some decorating and DIYs, but before we jump into it, let me introduce myself. My name is Jenneca and I am a mom on a mission to help you create a beautiful, functional, and fun home on a budget. That means a lot of decorating, DIYs, crafting, and organization here on this channel, and everything is very budget friendly. And I'm excited to hopefully share some inspiration. Today's video is kind of just designed for you to be able to put on in the background while maybe you're decorating for Christmas or working on other things so that we can feel like we're in it together. First things first, before I could actually decorate for Christmas, I had to undecorate for fall. And this process was actually kind of fun. It was fun to reflect on all the memories that we made this year, and my daughter is about 14 months, and so we got to do a lot of fun things with her, and it was just a really sweet fall season. But with that being said, I am really excited for Christmas. Now, it did take me like 2 weeks to do all of this, so sometimes we see things on social media and we expect everything to go really fast, and that's just not the case for me, at least. It took a lot of time to undecorate, clean the house, and decorate, especially with a toddler running around, and that's just kind of the reality of it. I did, as I was undecorating for fall, I did try to consolidate and go through some bins to see what I could get rid of. There were just some decorations I didn't really use. I am sad because this was our final bouquet from our garden. We had our first frost, and so I went and picked one last garden bouquet before it happened, and this was full of zinnias and dahlias, straw flowers, black-eyed Susans, and we had beautiful bouquets like this all summer long. But this bouquet has clearly died and it's time to throw it out, and as sad as it is fun to welcome in a new season being winter. And although winter can feel long and hard sometimes, I will say sometimes it is nice that we get a break from all of the yard work and gardening, because it is a lot of work, and it just refreshes you and makes you so excited for the spring when we get to start seeds again and start planting again. So I'm saying goodbye to our garden, but I'm gonna go compost this last bouquet, and it's been a good year. It's been a really good year of gardening and produce and just working on some of these dreams that my husband and I have and using our backyard. It's been so fun. So goodbye summer, fall, and hello winter. Okay, yesterday I was able to consolidate my fall decor to these 3 bins plus my flower tote, my floral bin. And then this whole bin is stuff that I am going to be selling on Facebook Marketplace and getting rid of, so we'll have 2 extra storage totes for other things. Last year when I put away decorations, especially Christmas decorations, I just kind of threw them in the bins, and I really regretted that because it made decorating this year so much harder. So I was determined to be more organized. I made labels for the fall bins and everything so that it will be so much easier to decorate come next season, and I want to do the same thing for Christmas this year. Okay, the Christmas bins are up, and I'm going to go through it and kind of look at what decorations we have. One of my favorite things growing up was opening up the bins, remembering, like, you forget about the decorations you have throughout the year, and then you open them, and it just brings back memories of all these Christmases. Every year I like to make some Christmas decorations around our house because it brings me a lot of joy. It's fun, and I know as my daughter gets older, it's something that we can do together. But I don't go out and buy all new decorations every year. Like, I know that some people do that, and it just seems so strange to me because for me, Christmas decorations are about nostalgia. They're about celebrating the birth of our Savior. They're about bringing your family closer and just adding in magic into the dead of winter. And I feel like if you just replace and buy all new decorations every single year, you eliminate that feeling of nostalgia. So I think that Christmas decorations can be collected slowly over time. Like, you don't have to go out and buy everything all at once. And also, I think that making things is really fun because it unpacks even more memories. I don't know, I just feel like on social media, like, all of the different Christmas trends change so often. For the average person, changing out all of your Christmas decor every year is just like not feasible. It's not realistic. It's expensive, and it's also really wasteful. And I wanted to say that in case you are feeling this pressure to now go create a whole new Christmas aesthetic. Now, I do get, like, sometimes you really like something one year and then a few years later you're like, this just doesn't really fit what I like anymore. And I do understand that as someone who loves to decorate. So I would like to go through some of our Christmas bins like I did with my fall decor. There's some pieces I've maybe made over the years that I'm like, oh, I don't really love that anymore. It's not really bringing me joy to put up. And my goal with that would be to either donate or sell on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I would describe my taste in Christmas as just classic Christmas colors. I love the red and green. Most of my decor kind of reflects that. I like a lot of greenery and a lot of like floral pieces, I guess you could say. I love garland. I love lights. I like that kind of stuff more than a lot of knickknacks, but I do have some really sentimental knickknacks as well. So there's just kind of a mix of things. So let's unbox it. Let's look through. Let's talk about memories and Christmas magic and just have fun looking at some decorations. Okay, so first up we have this fake Christmas tree. Now we are real Christmas tree people, but I'm like such an over-the-top Christmas decorator. I like every room to be decorated for Christmas. It just brings me so much joy. And when Riley and I first bought our house, we went and picked out this Christmas tree together. And I have such a fond memory of doing that. I just remember we were so excited about it. So this actually goes down here in our room with our fireplace. And then we have a family tradition of going and cutting down our own Christmas tree. In Utah, they give out so many permits a year to be able to do that, so we always sign up to get a permit for getting a live Christmas tree. So that will go in our front room, but this fake tree goes down here in our fireplace room. And now having Sage and having her little play area, we're gonna have to figure out where to put it this year. But this is such a fun memory. Every time I get it, I think back to our first Christmas in our house. I would say that I am a highly, highly nostalgic person and a highly sentimental person. That's why I find so much joy in Christmas decorations. Is just, it really gives me that chance to like tangibly hold on to memories. So I have to tell you something funny about myself. As a kid, because Christmas decorating was so important to me growing up, like I would make all of my own decorations out of paper for my room. And I remember one year I wanted my own Christmas tree in my room so bad that I got like a poster board, made a cone out of it, wrapped it in garland, and that was my little Christmas tree in my room. I am the youngest of 4 kids, and all of my siblings are quite a bit older than me, so they got married when I was really young. My sister got married when I was 6 years old. When she first got married, her and her husband were both in college. I just remember them saying money was tight and they didn't have a lot of extra spending money. I just remember as a kid worrying that one day if I got married and didn't have a lot of money, I was so worried that I wouldn't be able to go buy Christmas decorations for my own house one day. And so, like, of all the things to be worried about, I was concerned about making sure I had Christmas decorations for my future home. And so I started using some of my money that I would earn through different jobs and other things. I started using it to slowly grow my Christmas collection, and I would find things at like the thrift store or a garage sale that I really loved. I would add them to my future Christmas house collection. And so I have a few of those items in here that I collected as a kid so that I could be sure that I could decorate my own home one day, which is so cute. Like little me just wanted to create a magical Christmas, and nothing was going to stop me from doing that. These pillows are something that I got during that season of my life where I was being careful to stock up on some Christmas decor, and so they're so sentimental to me. I actually thrifted these cute little pillows. When I pull them out, it reminds me of how much I love to create Christmas magic through decorating. Okay, it looks like this bin is mostly garland and lights. Now, you'll see I have a lot of this rag tie stuff. For example, this garland I made, and I have so many of them. I also have some wreaths like this with the rag ties on them. They're made out of thrifted bed sheets, and I actually sold them a few years ago at like a crafting market, and I had some extra ones. So I don't want to hang on to all of these. I don't need all of these. I have like a whole bin full of them. And so I would like to try to sell some stuff, and if I can't sell things, maybe donate a few items, just because like you can only put up so many rag tie garlands, if you know what I mean. In here, I think this bin is like basically all Christmas lights on this side. And then over here I have wreaths that I like to hang up in our kitchen. I got these when Riley and I our first year married. This box is really special. My parents gave it to us for Christmas a few years ago, and it comes with a book, and then it comes with a bunch of ornaments, and each day you open a different ornament and put it on your tree, and there's a story to go with it, and it's all like Christ-centered. It's all about the Savior. So that's a family tradition that we have, so that will be going under our real tree once we get that. Okay, I have to show you guys this thrift find. I thrifted this advent calendar, and when you open it up, it's a story a day. So there's all of these little miniature storybooks, and they're Disney characters, but they're Christmas stories about the Disney characters. And I just thought this was such a fun advent calendar. Last year, I kind of went with like a North Pole kitchen. I just tried to like deck it out because I knew I'd be spending a lot of time in the kitchen, and I wanted to make it feel really magical, and I loved it. So I think I'm gonna kind of do that again this year. Last year on clearance, we found this little wooden train set by Magnolia. Of course, last year Sage was just a brand new baby, so she couldn't play with it, but this year I think she's going to love it, and I'm really excited to put it up by the tree for her to play with. Okay, and here we have like our tree skirt and some more ornaments and stuff like that. Oh, I have my Dollar Tree wooden snowflakes I got a few years ago that I'll be hanging up above in our dining area. Do you guys remember the reel I made where I made this little wreath out of cardboard? I think this might be a fun thing to put in Sage's room just because it feels really playful. I thrifted this cute little gingerbread chalkboard. This definitely has to go in the kitchen. For me, if I could collect anything Christmas related, it would be gingerbread anything and everything. I just love gingerbread characters. I just think they're so cute, and gingerbread houses, gingerbread men. I think they're so fun. Maybe we could do some fun gingerbread crafting this year. That would be a fun idea because I want to grow a gingerbread collection. I'm going to start decorating in the kitchen, and I am so excited to do that this year because our kitchen actually looks different than last year. If you saw my kitchen makeover video, you'll know that we repainted our cabinets, and then we took out that awkward triangular shelf and put in these floating shelves instead, and I absolutely love them. And I'm going to use them this year to display my Christmas mugs. I actually inherited these mugs from my mom this year. They are the mugs that I used my entire childhood, and she was going to get rid of them, so I got to keep them for myself, and I'm so excited about it. They kind of became like a family heirloom to me, just something that always brought me a lot of joy, and I have memories. Every time we would go and get our Christmas tree, I would drink hot chocolate out of my little polar bear mug. Each of my siblings and I had our own mug, and so it was really special to get to put those up in my own house. And even as I recorded this video, Riley made me some hot chocolate, and I got to drink it out of my polar bear mug, and it just brings me joy and lots of memories from my childhood. Okay, next I took down the dried garland that I had hanging above the kitchen window. These were herbs and flowers and things from our garden, and I'm just going to store those safely in the garage for the winter, or at least until after Christmas, because I want to put up garland and I want to make this feel like the North Pole. Although we have so many plants in our kitchen, so it might be more like a greenhouse at the North Pole, but I just kind of want it to feel whimsical and magical, and I just added in a bow, some ribbons, and some eucalyptus plants that we had left over from our wedding, just to kind of add some variation to that garland. And you'll see me layer garland throughout our house throughout this video. Next, I added some decor pieces to the window box and a little nutcracker that I painted a few years ago, and I think it's super cute. I also have my cookbooks in the windowsill, which I recently moved there, and I've been really enjoying that. Then I added some lights to that garland as well, and I ran them down the live plants that hang over the edge of the cabinets as well, and it just kind of created this frame for the window, and it's really fun and really magical at night, and the window just really sparkles. It's a little bit more enjoyable to wash dishes, if washing dishes can be enjoyable. I also switched out a cutting board and some artwork, and just some of those simple touches really start to make it feel like Christmas in our kitchen. Next, I got to work hanging those wreaths that I talked about earlier, and I did that by just attaching a ribbon and then running that ribbon around the back and securing it on the back side of the door. The pantry door actually does have a command hook on it, but the the cupboards did not, and they've stayed pretty well without a command hook, just by attaching the ribbon to the back of the door. And then I added in some red berries into these wreaths, and then I made some bows to go on the 2 wreaths above the microwave. I actually thrifted this spool of ribbon for $1.50, and it came with so much ribbon. And so I decided to make these red bows to go all over our house. So you'll see me do this and put it on our trees and our wreaths and our garlands and just all over the house. And it's kind of this red velvety ribbon, and it's so pretty and so festive. I think especially with our cabinets being green this year, I felt the need to add in a lot more red than usual. And so in years past, I've just had the green wreaths with the little red berries, but adding the red bows made the wreath stand out a lot more on the green cabinets, and it was a little touch that I'm really glad I added. And I just basically assembled the bow, tied it together with a piece of string, and then cut the ends to give it that finished look, and then just made a bunch of them. So to attach it to the wreath, I just tied it with the string that I had tied around the bow. I tied that to the wreath, and it has stayed really well. I've had no issues with it staying. Next, I hung up my brown paper bag stars that I made last year, I guess snowflakes that I made last year. If you saw my Christmas decorating video from last year, you can look back on that and see how I made them. And then I hung my snowflakes from the Dollar Tree. These are little wooden snowflakes that I got a few years ago. I always hang them here in the dining room, and I think it just adds a fun little pop. The dining room is the first thing you see when you walk into the house, and so I like having an instant taste of Christmas and winter right there when you first walk in, and I think it looks really pretty with the window kind of casting that silhouette behind it. Next, I attached some garland to our railing that separates our dining area and our family room. And this is where you'll really see me start to layer my garland. Now, I love the newer garlands that are out, like the realistic looking cedar garlands or pine garlands. But a lot of these garlands I actually bought when I was a lot younger, when I was collecting Christmas decorations for my future house. And so it feels wasteful to just get rid of these to get new garland. And so, and also the new garlands are so expensive. And so I have just kind of found ways to layer it in and make it look really full. I add some eucalyptus to it and some poinsettias. And this year I didn't add berries to anything within reach of my 14-month-old because I don't want her choking on anything. So I did simplify the garland that way. I didn't put in berries, but this is how the kitchen turned out this year, and I think it's so beautiful and magical. It's definitely a little North Pole greenhouse full of greenery, but also lots of red and Christmassy touches. And I've been really enjoying it, although we have had a little adventure lately. We had a little mouse friend move into our kitchen, and we caught one, but we discovered there is another one. So that is one thing we're still working on, and that has kind of been a little bit of a nightmare, but we'll catch him. We'll get things squared away. But I did spend a ton of time cleaning our kitchen, like probably 12 hours after we got the first mouse, and then like an hour later we discovered there was another mouse, so I was really disappointed about that. But it will last forever and it will be fine. I do love our kitchen though, and I think I'll enjoy cooking in here a lot more once we catch that second mouse and I can be sure that everything's clean, especially with having a little 14-month-old running around. It makes me nervous with like mouse droppings and all of that. Okay, for the family room, we have this fireplace here, and so I basically just put some more garland on. When I'm layering, I like to do the garland first, then the lights, and then I add in any extra greenery, so sometimes that's eucalyptus, and then I add in any other sprigs that I want to, and then finally I add in, if I'm adding in poinsettias or bows or berries, that comes last. And I kind of try to make things symmetrical, so if I'm layering in some eucalyptus, I do all of the eucalyptus at once. That way I can see that it's spaced the way that I want it to be spaced. And then if I'm adding in, for example, these white feathery sprigs, I'll add those all in at once so that I can see that it's layered the way I like. and then I'll add in all the bows at once. And of course, my little helper wanted to join in on the fun. And luckily, this fireplace isn't too tall for her to reach yet, so I was able to kind of do what I wanted, but we'll see if that changes. She's starting to climb and find a way to get to anything that she wants to these days. Next, I set up that fake Christmas tree that I told you about that Riley and I got when we first moved into our house. And this year's a little tricky because we keep a playpen in the corner for her with toys and stuff like that. So we normally put this tree in the corner, but we had to move it out, and it actually worked really well because we put it in front of the middle window and it looks pretty from the outside looking in, and you're still able to get by the couch and everything just fine. Riley put the lights on for me, and of course Sage had to be right there helping. She loves to follow us around and just be a part of everything, and it's pretty fun. Riley also switched out the artwork in our vinyl display. So Riley and I collect vinyls, and we have some Christmas ones. So he switched out the artwork to display there. I also wanted to switch out my gallery wall, and I started by just using things that I already had, but it really wasn't coming together the way I wanted. So I decided to sleep on it and give it a minute and just see if I could come up with something better by the morning. It just wasn't giving that cottagey feel that I wanted. Okay, you guys, I just had to be real for a minute. As much as I try I do, I will never be a clean, organized decorator. Like, look at the state of our house right now. And I tried to keep decorating today while my husband was at work, and doing that with a toddler was just absolute insanity. So by the next morning, though, I was feeling a lot better, and I was so excited to work on that gallery wall, so I got right back to it. I really want to tie in some Christmassy colors, and I really want a vintage, nostalgic feeling. That's kind of the whole point of this mismatched gallery wall. I also do want to include some artwork of the Savior. So I went on Etsy and I found this really beautiful piece of art of the Nativity. So I'm going to print that out. I just finished formatting all those sizes here on Canva. I'm just going to print these at home to save some money rather than going and getting them printed. So I'm hoping my printer can handle it and that it will still look really pretty. Let's go see what it looks like. Okay, I have some photo paper, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my printer. So my printer is an Epson, and it's like a top to bottom feeder rather than a bottom to top feeder. And the reason that's important is I have found when printing on thick paper like cardstock or photo paper, if your printer feeds from down here and then it has to flip around and come back out right here, then oftentimes the cardstock or the photo paper is just too thick. And so my printer handles thick paper pretty well because it just has to feed it straight down, if that makes sense. I'm just going to do a PDF print on this. Okay, my PDF just downloaded, and here's what it looks like. So I have this painting of Christ. It's a nativity painting, which I think is so pretty. And then this one's sideways. I'll flip it when I actually print it. I have little cookies, and then this nutcracker for my really skinny frame, and then a train and a fireplace, and some pine cones, and a Santa Claus, and some mistletoe. I'm going to change it to ultra glossy paper, and that will actually print it more photo-like. It'll make it more pigmented. My printer took it like a champ. Here is that first image, and I think it's so pretty. It definitely has a lot more blue in it than the original image. I just think that having this curated artwork, a little bit more vintage looking, will go better with the gallery wall. Okay, while we wait for those pictures to finish printing, they're taking a while because the ink is so pigmented. I thought it'd be fun to go through the thrift finds I found today. So I went to the thrift store with my daughter this morning, and we found a couple of really good items and a couple that are perfect for Christmas decorating. First off, I just found a picture frame that I'm going to put over where this one goes, and I might need to do some rub and buff on it because it doesn't quite match. I just think it would look better gold. The reason I wanted to replace this picture frame is this is my grandmother's artwork and I love it, and it will be up most of the year. But I just think for Christmas, I want them all to be Christmassy. But this is like professionally like framed and everything, and so you can't take the back off without ruining it. So I was not about to ruin my grandmother's artwork And so I'm just going to put this up for Christmas time, and then I'll put that back up as soon as Christmas is over. So I found a perfect size picture frame. I also found these really cute pillowcases, and I really liked this fabric, and I thought it could be fun to do some little Christmas crafts with this. I've been really into sewing lately, and I haven't decided exactly how I'll use it, but I thought about maybe like making it into a really cute advent calendar, or maybe some little ornaments or something like that. Maybe some kind of decoration for my daughter's room, because her room has like some of this corally pink color in it. I also found this beautiful Betty Crocker Christmas cookbook. I just think it's so pretty. Look at that. And I love that it's Betty Crocker. It's always a classic, and it has a lot of really fun Christmas recipes in it. So I'm excited to try this out. Okay, I found a few non-Christmassy items. I'll show you really quick. I just found this sheet, but I thought the fabric was so cute, this purple gingham. Nothing to do with any project on my plate right now, just to add to my fabric collection, and I could make some fun things for my daughter with it. I also found my daughter this book, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, which I feel like is such a classic, and she loved the bright colors in it. I love to collect books from the thrift store, got it for $1, and so I'm going to give this to her for Christmas. I think that will be really fun. And then I also have been wanting to get her some big Legos. She really likes the ones my mom has at her house. She's really into like connecting things, putting things together right now. And I found this whole entire bag at the thrift store for $3. So this is also going to be a Christmas present for her. And then probably one of the things I'm most excited that I found at the thrift store today were these throw blankets. I don't actually know if they're blankets or tablecloths, but they're soft. So I'm using them as throw blankets for our couch. And there's a more red-based one, and then here's more of a green-based one. And they go together so nicely, and I think it'll be cute on the couch with our kind of like vintage artwork. Okay, I'm going to go check and see if those pictures are done printing. So let's head down to the printer and take a look at how they turned out. I'm excited. So first I have the nativity, and then we have these beautiful cookies and hot chocolate. Then there's the nutcracker. Here we have the fireplace and the train, and I'll cut them. And then the pine cones. And there's Santa Claus reading a book and the mistletoe. And we're back to the nativity. These could not have turned out more beautiful. I am so excited to go ahead and put these in the frames. So let's start on that. Before actually hanging any of the pictures, I wanted to get that thrifted picture frame nice and clean and apply the rub and buff, and that way it could be drying while I was working on hanging the other pictures. My rub and buff exploded, so my hands are gonna be gold for the rest of this video. This frame is looking really good, so I'm gonna start putting artwork in the other frames while this dries. Now, prior to these Christmas photos, I had some fall pictures in these picture frames, and I want to change them out seasonally. I think that changing out artwork like this is such a simple way to add a seasonal touch to a space, and it really doesn't require a lot of money or storage space, which is really nice. And for my fall pictures, actually most of them came from a thrifted book, but I just couldn't find a good thrifted Christmas book that I wanted to put the images into these frames for. So that's why I ended up deciding to print them, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think they are beautiful, and this made the most perfect gallery wall. I also wanted to update some of the greenery in that little basket that I had on the back of the couch. So this little stand that you see behind the couch here, I actually made for Riley for his birthday. He wanted something to put like drinks and stuff on and be able to charge stuff. And so it's been so nice to have this little shelf here, but it's also fun because I can put things like those candlesticks, which I do not light, and I can also put like florals and just fun decorations on it as well. And then it's also good storage for, like I said, drinks and charging devices and stuff like that. It used to be a great way I got to work decorating that little fake tree, and I decorated the entire tree. When it came to decorating our trees this year, I realized that we don't have as many ornaments as I would like to really fill these trees in. They feel a little sparse, And so I think I'm going to make an entire video dedicated to making homemade ornaments, and I'll kind of share with you what I create to put on our trees. I thought that would be a fun video idea. But I also found that I can only decorate the tree from like 3 feet and up because Sage will take off all of the decorations no matter how much I try to explain to her that they don't come off of the tree. She likes to take them off and bring them to me. I think because she saw me decorating, so she now thinks that she's helping if she brings me decorations to decorate with. And so I've just decided to kind of leave the bottom half of the tree empty because I got kind of tired of putting the bows on the tree over and over again. But I love how this room turned out. I think it is so cute and so cozy. I love the little red bows that I tied in from upstairs or from the kitchen as well. And it's just fun to have those pops of red. I definitely added in a lot more bright red than I did last year, and mainly just from these ribbons. But I think it's really fun and really festive and so cute and cozy. I've been loving getting to watch Christmas movies in this space and just spend quality time together as a family. Now, one thing that I did change since I recorded this and I decorated everything was I actually moved the playpen that was over in the corner and I put it downstairs. So I filled it with, I thrifted some little plastic balls for like a ball pit, and I just put those inside of the playpen, and instead in this corner I put up a little shelf. I got the shelf for free on the side of the road, and it's been in our guest room collecting dust. And I just put out 4 different toys and a couple of books for Sage to play with because she was not really going in her playpen to play. She hated going in there, and there were too many toys, so she kind of seemed overwhelmed, and I just found that she wasn't playing on her own very well. So I decided to simplify her toys. I packed away all of the extras and I organized them really well in these bags, and that way I can switch out the toys that she sees occasionally. But it's been so interesting because ever since doing that and simplifying her toys and simplifying this space, she has played on her own so much better and has been really enjoying her toys. Her little Christmas train set that we got her last year, she played with for like 45 minutes, which I feel like for her age that's pretty good. Her attention span isn't very long yet, and I have been loving seeing her find more joy and interest in her toys and using her imagination and just being more creative. And I think that goes for all of us. Like when there's just too much going on and it's too chaotic, it can sometimes stifle our creativity. The next room on the list was Sage's room. Like I said, growing up, I loved having Christmas decorations in my room, so I wanted Sage to have some of her own. This little Christmas tree my sister actually gave me when I was in college, and so it was fun to now be able to share it with Sage. Okay, I'm so excited because I'm about to pull down my daughter's Christmas books. So if you've been around here for any amount of time, you know that I thrift children's books. I love to collect them for different holidays, and then every season or holiday I switch out the books on her bookshelf. She's obsessed with books, loves books so much, and I think it's because we spend a lot of time reading together. And it's one way that we bond and spend time together, and I know it's really good for her developmentally. I get really sick of reading the same books over and over again, even though I know she wouldn't care. I usually find that by the end of the holiday or the end of a season, I'm like so ready to switch out the books so we have new books to read. So I'm really excited, and I just have them organized up here in these file folders. I got these from my mom's basement. She didn't use them anymore. They were there for forever. I don't know what you actually call these, but I covered them in brown paper and then wrote the holidays on them. So for Christmas I have a couple of these full of books. Most holidays I just have one though. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these out. Normally I just have one holiday bookshelf, but I think I'm going to, other than her Jesus bookshelf, I'm going to take down all the others and I am going to fill them with Christmas books. I do have a couple of Thanksgiving books, so I will leave those out as well, but everything else I'm going to take down and make room for all of the Christmas books. We did end up cutting down our Christmas tree. We got our permit and it was the best day. We got to trek up through the snow. We haven't had snow yet at our house, but the mountains do have snow, and we found the most perfect tree. It's kind of a Charlie Brown tree, but that's how it goes when you cut down your own Christmas tree. It's just way less full and perfect looking than a lot tree, but I love it because it holds memories and it's such a fun tradition to go and do together. Plus, it's a lot cheaper to get a permit and do it yourself than to buy a live 10-foot tree from a lot. So I went ahead and decorated this. Again, ornaments only, made it about 3 feet up from the bottom because Sage kept taking them off. But I do want to add some more ornaments too when I make an ornament making video, so stay tuned for that. And this is how our house is looking at night, and I just think it is so magical. Riley also put the lights on outside, and I haven't gotten around to it, but I do make a live fresh wreath for our front door every year. So if you want to see what that looks like, you can look at my last year's decorating video. I also added lights to our hallway, and I like to add lights to the bathroom as well, just because when I give Sage a bath or I take a bath, it's just so nice to relax to Christmas lights and to really set the mood. I also added some lights to our headboard in our bedroom. And like I said, I just like a little bit of Christmas in every single room. And in my opinion, you can't get too cozy at Christmas time. And I am loving our house. I'm glad that I did this early on because now I can just sit back and enjoy the Christmas decorations. I feel like if I wait too long in this season, because Christmas decorating is a lot of work, then there's just not enough time to fully enjoy it. So I like to do it early on. But let me know in the comments below, when do you usually decorate for Christmas? Because I'm curious. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I have a lot more fun Christmas content planned for you and a lot of fun crafts and DIYs and decorating inspiration, so be sure to stick around. Also, if you haven't seen, I recently posted some videos to help you with your Christmas gift giving. The first one was 100 homemade Christmas gift ideas. The second one was 100 homemade Christmas gift ideas for kids. And so there is so much inspiration in there. If you're starting to think about gift giving, go check those out. I'll also have some more decorating crafts and just fun things coming. So stay tuned, and I will see you next week.